Want to get personal with finance? Today I'm excited to share with you something very special that will guarantee you will change the way you look at personal finance altogether. So let's get started. So like the models I create and the financial concepts that I talk about and like the experience that I share around the topic of get personal with finance and just the word finance, personal finance in general, it's like I share in other video, it's very disconnected. And so this mindset model that I created visually gets people to clearly understand the connection between the two. And if I can sum up, how people struggle with their finances is because they're not making a meaningful connection with their finances. They're not getting personal with finance. Their finances is driving them and they're not the one driving their finances. And so in this informational graphic that I created, it breaks down into the concept of be, do, and have, right? If you look at a person's personal finance, their finances has to overlap with their values, has to overlap with who they are. And the challenge that I see when I think people are struggling with their finances comes in different forms, where it comes in the form of, I don't want to talk about money. I'm very uncomfortable with money. Money is the root of all evil. Finance is just bad. It's confusing. Money just doesn't make me happy. I just don't see the value of making a lot of money. So you see there's a big disconnect. And then I see the reverse where people are just, they're all about money. Money is everything. For me, growing up and being an immigrant, with my family coming to the United States and working, money was a topic every day because it's all about making as much money as possible, saving it, so we have, we can put food on the table. But it's from a standpoint of I wouldn't say desperation, but one of that, I absolutely need money. And it's just very narrowly focused. And when it comes to finance, it's very confusing because, we have to talk about insurance, we have to talk about budgeting, we have to talk about retirement that you see on TV, the stock market, it's confusing. So to break it all down, this mindset model I created is to help people be ultra clear about the topic of personal finance. So breaking down this mindset model, it's broken into 3 pieces, right? And the 3 pieces is absolutely essential. And I simplified it into 3 main points, and that's be, do, and have in that order. I think where people go wrong with their personal finances is they start with have, do, and then be, right? They think by acquiring something like a fancy car or the way they dress or something that makes them wealthy, that shows that they have their finances together. No, it doesn't. That brings them more financial troubles than anything, right? They're trying to impress their friends or they're trying to impress somebody or really themselves, I don't know, but they have it all wrong. So they just focus on the having part, but they forget about the doing part, where the doing part is how you get the have, right? Or they don't think much about it. It's just, hey, I make money and I spend, and then that's it. But again, they forgot about the being part too. The being part is your sense of being, right? I learned, I think from Dr. Wayne Dyer, I can't remember where I get this. This was long ago, where he said that we are human beings, right? Our sense of being is first and foremost, it's everything. We're not human having. So objects and the things we have don't define us. But obviously we live in a capitalistic society that is, it's all about consumption, it's all about consumption. So the stuff that we have define us. But I think that's where we go wrong as well too, is we're so focused on that, we forget how we come about having those things, right? And so what it takes to have those things in a manner that's responsible, where having those things don't cost us our retirement, where we got to work an extra 10 years, or by having that we're now in great debt, or it puts us into a financial position where we don't have any more savings or we have very little savings. That's where I'm coming from this. So the model of this, to break it down, is that you got to go from believing that you will achieve your goals to knowing that you will achieve your goals. So starting off with believing, when we say we believe in something, that's on a foundation of hope, right? It's something that we're not really clear about. But when we know, that comes from a standpoint of clarity, having a plan, and knowing what to do. And so with the model of personal finance, this mindset model that I put together is that I think people need to start with their sense of being first, right? So again, it's be, do, and have, not have, do, and be, or it's the sequence of really understanding personal finance and to really have our finances together is we need to make sure that we're clear on our sense of being. So the first thing is, be value driven, right? You got to ask yourself, are you someone who's persistent? Are you someone who's responsible? Are you someone who's caring for your well-being, caring for your family's well-being? Are you someone who is future focused? Are you someone who's responsible, right? Those things are really important because that's something we got to ask ourselves before we really want to learn about finance or be serious about finance. I think people miss that step, or they don't take that time to really reflect or really internalize, their values and that they need to be clear that they're going to be in the driver position of their finances and not let finances drive them. So that's really important because that's where the examples I give you where people, I guess, are lost because they're lost in the money, right? In the glitz and glamour of, money, but they don't understand what that means to their quality of life when you're financially responsible, right? When you're on top of your finances and you're very good with how you spend your money. So that's really important. So it starts with your being. The other part of it that really connects the personal and finance together, or the disconnect where people have a lot of trouble with finances or achieving their goals, is the doing part. I think people don't do enough to achieve their financial freedom or financial independence, or they're doing it wrong. And so part of that is the doing part is, you got to do what it takes, right? And part of that is, again, save first, then spend, right? As simple as that. When you make money, look at how do I pay myself first? How do I invest in myself? How do I pay down debt, right? That's a form of savings, being in control of your finances. And the doing part is learn new skills, right? Because when you're more valuable in the marketplace, you can make more money. And that is, again, that's part of doing. That's part of taking the initiative to invest in yourself and practice and acquire new skills. The other thing is, again, are you doing the part that is investing more in your education? Are you acquiring new skills? And how are you spending the time and money that you save, right? By being just very smart with the way you spend your money and how you use your time productively. And ask yourself this question: what commitments are you making that's going to make you more productive, right? What are you committed to do, right? So you can have what you want. And so that's the last part is then think about having, right? So for business, input equals output. So I think where a lot of people go wrong in life is, they think about all the fancy stuff they want and they just focus on that, but they don't focus on what they're committed to learn and execute, right? So on the having part, it comes very naturally. And that's where, if you have a clear sense of being, like you have become a person that's responsible, that you have become a person that is accountable, you have become someone who is good with your finances, and then you do save, you do invest, you do take the time to build, your business, or you do take the time to acquire new skills, then now you would have the things you want, right? The car, the dream house, the new opportunities that you've been looking for, right? In a career change, or to do something more with your career. You have financial freedom, right? You have a better quality of life. You basically have the things that you've earned, that you work hard for, and it feels good. I mean, if I can look back and, with my own personal finance and my journey, that's what it's all about, is that it feels good when I can obtain something, when I can retire my parents, right? That's something that I can tell you, it's a magical feeling. That's when I know that, I guess you can say, like, I've made it, or that I really have my finances in order. That instead of just thinking about myself, I can think about other people that I care about, right? Obviously, this is someone who's very close to me. And so in that order, the be, the do, and the have is really important. That's where, when I realized that if I do have my act together, I will be a very wealthy person, right? That I don't have to worry about money because, again, I know how to make money. I know how to be responsible. I know how to, when I don't know something, I know where to get the answers. I have great people that I surround myself with. And it's that gives me, the confidence, to be good with my finances, to allow for me to pursue, a passion project like this YouTube channel and all the other things that I get a chance to do with my family. And for that, I'm so grateful. And now that I'm taking on this challenge to communicate what I've learned with you, with everybody that's out there, and to help them better their finances, or if anything, just get them to think a little bit differently, but to get them to think better. And I guess at the end of the day, have more meaning, and don't be afraid about about the word finance or the word personal finance together, or the stock market, or everything else that goes on in our busy lives that we can have together. And again, that we're the ones driving our finances, that we should not let our finances drive us. And it starts with good education, good thinking, and again, this mindset model. So with understanding this personal mindset model, it should be ultimately clear to you what personal finance is all about and the mindset behind what makes a person's finance come together. And you should be very confident to go from believing to knowing that you'll achieve your financial goals now, understanding that it's about your sense of beingness. It takes doing, and then you can have all the things that you've ever wanted. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.